Hello everyone, my name is Gev. I hope you're having a great day. It's Saturday, April 25th, so let's talk Bitcoin. Alright guys, so I'm really excited to make this one. I want to explain to you guys what the Bitcoin halving is and how the halving event is going to impact Bitcoin for years to come. Okay, so let's start off with the fact that we're 16 days away from the halving event. It's going to take place on May 12th, 2020. Okay, and basically what the halving event is as of now, we get 12.5 bitcoins per block. Okay, on May 12th, that's going to decrease to 6.2 bitcoins per block. Okay, and so basically how this works is just like how for gold you have to mine it out of the ground, and Bitcoin you have to mine it through internet. Okay, so basically what you're doing is you're plugging in a Bitcoin miner into internet and into the power. And what that miner does is then it turns energy into bitcoins, basically trying to solve an algorithm, solve a math problem that then rewards that computer with bitcoins every time it's able to solve um, a block. So it unlocks a block and it gets 12.5 bitcoins currently, right? And on May 12th, that's going to be 6.5 bitcoins. So basically, with all the miners across the world, as of today, we get 1,800 fresh Bitcoin dumped into the supply every day. Okay, that's today. And in 16 days and 10 hours, that's going to decrease to 900 Bitcoins mined per day. Okay, so this is basically a supply shock. Okay, and what a supply shock does is it creates higher prices because the demand usually stays the same. Okay, so we experienced this in reverse this week actually. And if you guys can remember, the supply of oil was so high and the demand was so low that it drove prices into the negatives for the first time in history, right? That's the reverse of what's about to happen for Bitcoin. So the supply is going to come down and the demand is either going to stay the same or go up. Okay, and why, you ask, the demand won't go down? Okay, simple reason here. Guys, we had a 50, almost 52% decrease in the price of Bitcoin in 1 week. And realistically, this happened in about 36-hour period, right? And the demand increased, right? The demand increased down here. Okay, so buyers are not going anywhere. People want Bitcoin, right? And as long as people want Bitcoin, the price will stay the same or increase. Okay, now what will cause Bitcoin to have a major rally is exactly what's about to take place here, guys. Okay, so once we cut the amount that we get fresh Bitcoin every day, then the price has to go up based on supply and demand, right? Okay, so based on that, let's go to the a chart of Bitcoin's history. Okay, this is Bitcoin's price history from almost day one. So Bitcoin came out in 2008, okay, in the middle of the financial crisis, and we don't really have price action from that time period because, well, it wasn't really trading on exchanges and can't really go lower than 1 cent, right? So we're gonna take it from July of 2010 until current day. Okay, what I have marked for you guys in the white horizontal vertical, excuse me, in the white vertical lines is every halving date so far. Okay, so we've had two and we are approaching the third. Okay, every one of these halvings happens every 4 years. So every 4 years we get a supply shock and we get a decrease in the amount of fresh Bitcoins mined per day. Okay, I want you guys to see the trend here. Okay, every time we have a halving event, what happens to price, right? We had one here on November 26, 2012, and not long after that on November 25th, 2013. So 1 year later, we had, if you were to buy at the halving event at $12, you would have made an astronomical amount of money, right? So $1,142 was the top after the halving event, right? Then we go to the second halving. If you would have bought at the halving event, $653, we hit 20,000. How much longer after that? July 2016, December 2017. So roughly a year after the event takes place, we see an astonishing rise in the price of Bitcoin, right? And that has to do with supply and demand, guys. So again, once you cut the supply of something and the demand stays the same or goes higher, the prices follow. They have to go higher to stabilize the market, right? So 1 year from now, say May, we should be in a very nice place with Bitcoin, right? You know, I like this one. I like two sayings about history. Okay, one of them is Gandhi, if I'm not wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it's Gandhi said that history does not repeat, it rhymes. Okay, and then there's another quote that says, "Those who do not learn from history are doomed to repeat it." Okay, now I understand there isn't much history to go based on here. However, to me, this is pretty solid. This is close to 11 years of price action data that we can look at, right? And by looking at this, I want you guys to notice one thing here. History rhymes. It doesn't repeat, it rhymes. Okay? Look how we have a top here in 2011, okay? And we have about an 85% correction. Let me show you guys so you guys better understand this. About 93% correction. And then we have a rally into the halving. And then from the halving date, we went up, what's that number? 10,000, 10,048%. Okay, and then what happened after that? We came back down about 85%. Then from the halving, we went up about 3,000%, right? Okay, so now how much did we come down this time? From 20,000 to 3,100, we came down 83%. Okay, and let's say from the halving, let's take it at the current price, right? I have to do this a little bit. So if we take it from the current price and we go up about 1,000%, it's putting us at about $98,000. Okay. Now, most people are going to say, how is that even possible? I mean, all I'm doing is looking at the price history, right? So every time Bitcoin crashes, it crashes between 80 and 90%. Okay. And then post halving, this time it rallied 10,000%. This time it rallied 3,000%. Okay, so I'm going to say this time we rally 1,000% from halving price. Whatever halving price is, whether it's 7,000, 8,000, 6,000, whatever that price is, we rally about 1,000% to set a new top. Okay, one other thing I want you guys to notice here is our yellow moving average is a 50 moving average and the green one is a 200, right? So right near the bottom of Bitcoin, these two tend to compress. Right? We didn't have enough data here to have a 200 moving average, but you can tell how the trajectory of it is almost the same, right? Same thing is happening here right now, okay? And one major thing I want you guys to notice is this, okay? So in 2015, coming out of the bottom of an 85% correction, Bitcoin saw rejection off the 50 and collapsed. At the time, this was a collapse, guys. This was a 34% collapse in price, and people down here were screaming that we're going to zero, right? What did Bitcoin do? It did not go to zero. All it did was hold its 200 moving average and continue to move higher, okay? While the 50 moving average and the 200 were hugging each other, right? Same thing here, guys. I know it doesn't repeat. History does not repeat. History rhymes, guys. History rhymes. Okay. Yes, we were a little bit over the 50 moving average, right? But what happened here? We saw about a 60% correction in price. We closed above the 200 moving average and are now moving up every week, hugging in between the 50 and the 200 moving average, right? And we're approaching the halving very soon here. So based on history, I'm going to assume here, and look here. After the crash in price, look how many months of bullish price action we got. We had, I'm sorry, weeks. This is a weekly chart. Each candle represents 1 week of price action. So we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 weeks and only 1 week. So 10 weeks of green price action and we only had 1 red week, right? What are we doing right now, guys? We crashed down under 200, closed there. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks of green or blue. I like my candles to be blue price action, right? So yes, we are expecting a red week coming up somewhere in the middle here, okay, to push prices back into a buy zone so more people who did not get in at this price can get into. However, the general trend is up. This is why I keep telling everybody I'm bullish, very bullish on Bitcoin, okay? I want to show you guys this chart too. So we're looking weekly here, and this is the $20,000 top, and this is our golden trend line right now in the gray line. The gray line represents the price that we need to get above, the trend we need to get above in order to send Bitcoin to 20,000 and higher. Okay, so if you can see, once we set this top at 20,000, okay, we came and 13,000 rejected right there, right? We went a little bit higher and rejected on the weekly and set our gravestone doji, and that has been sending us down since then, rejecting it once, twice, 3 times, right? Every single time we've interacted with this line, we've rejected it, okay? And we are approaching that right now, very close. We're gonna, about May, June or July, we should be interacting with this trend line. And more than likely, this time we're going to go ahead and break it. And we're going to break it, and we're going to need confirmation on the retest, as we've been talking about every other market in all my videos. Once this trend line breaks, it needs confirmation, right? But this is the holiest trend line in Bitcoin right now, in cryptocurrency period. All cryptocurrencies move as Bitcoin moves. This is why I don't talk about other cryptocurrencies, because to me it's irrelevant. If Bitcoin's bullish, so are the other ones. If Bitcoin's bearish, so are the other ones. There's no, this Bitcoin sets the trend for all other cryptocurrencies. Okay, so once we break this downtrend, once this downtrend is broken, guys, Bitcoin will see an explosive move to the upside to 14,000 and then to 20,000. Okay, this is what we're leading towards. Okay, and the halving event is going to drive that. Okay, I want to show you guys a couple other indicators here. So the miners have a hash system. So the more miners there are, the higher the hash rate is, the more Bitcoins are being produced quickly, right? And currently, we're looking at the hash rate graph here. I know this is a little complicated for most people to understand, but I'm trying to explain the entire economics of the market, right? So this is the hash rate graph, okay? And every time miners capitulate or turn off their miners, Bitcoin price crashes. So if we last time we went from 6,000 to 3,000 in 2018, look at what happened to the hash price. I mean the hash chart. It collapsed, right? Okay, and recently when it dumped down, same thing happened, right? Okay, but the general trend is up here, and miners have not been giving up. Every day we're slowly grinding higher, right? Another one, fear and greed index for Bitcoin. Basically, as Warren Buffett says, when others are fearful, be greedy, and when others are greedy, be fearful. Did I say that right? When others are fearful, be greedy. When others are greedy, be fearful. Yeah, I hope I said that right. So, right now, we're looking at extremely low greed, guys. So, 0 represents extreme fear, and 100 represents extreme greed, right? Even though price action is up 95% from the $3,800 bottom we recently set, everyone is still fearful. Everyone is still scared. People don't understand what's about to happen, right? That's why they're scared. They think we're going back lower to 3,000, 2,000, 1,000. Crazy numbers, right? Except what's happening here, we're slowly ticking up. We're slowly grinding up on the fear and greed index, right? You guys can tell every time we've gone to the top side, we've crashed down. Every time we've gone to the bottom side, we've moved up. The beautiful thing this time is we've moved 95% in price and people are still fearful. That means we have a lot of room to move higher, guys. We have a lot of room to move higher here. Okay, as of current day, we're still watching this trend line on the daily chart. We're watching the 200 moving average. As you guys can tell, we're getting serious rejection up here because this is a major milestone for Bitcoin, especially after this entire event from crashing down this far. Okay, when you crash this hard, this fast, it takes time. Okay, and the beautiful thing is we've been slowly grinding up here, guys. Slowly grinding up, slowly finally getting to that 8,000 number I've been harping about. We're finally almost there. Our moving average on a daily 200 sits right there. So We're getting ready to interact with that, and this is going to be um, the biggest test so far for Bitcoin. Definitely, we want to see prices get above and stay above. But the major price level here is the gray downtrend and 10,500. So if we can break this downtrend, okay, that's a huge move. And then once we close above 10,500, that's it. That's basically all hands on deck for a massive move to 20,000. Okay, so we're gonna continue watching this. We're gonna see how this develops. I wanted to explain to you guys how the halving system works, how why I'm so bullish. Okay, basically, in a time where you're about to have a supply shock, in a good way, not in a bad way like oil did. To me, it's close to crazy to be bearish. Okay, I am not saying that Bitcoin cannot see downwards price action. That is definitely not what I'm saying. Okay, what I'm saying is from here on out, I believe the general trend is going to be to the upside. Okay, again, on the weekly chart, we haven't seen a red candle in a while. Okay, so I'm assuming we're going to get one here very soon in the coming 2 weeks. Okay, or even post halving. Okay, as you guys can see over here, usually after the halving event goes down, the first two times, so this is the first halving event, right? We do get a couple uh, red candles on the weekly coming after the halving event. Okay, this one, obviously, the one that happened in 2012 was a very immature market, very young market, so price action was a little less trustworthy, right? But as we matured into 2016, going into 17, look how we reacted here. We rallied into the halving, okay, and kind of went sideways into it. Post halving, price action crashed, and by crash I mean how much did we really crash here? Okay, my computer doesn't want to work. There we go. We came down about 29%, okay, and then the rest was history, as they say, right? Came down 29%, and I'm sure everybody here was crying about how Bitcoin's going back down to 200 and 100 and all those fun numbers, right? What happened? Bitcoin rallied 4,000 guys, 4,000% after the halving. 30% crash in price. Everybody's crying, running away. You rallied 4,000% in less than a year, a little bit over a year and about 5 months, right? Okay, it's exactly the same thing I'm expecting here. I expect we get up to about 8,000 into the halving, then we come back down to about 6,800, 7,000, which would mean off of 8,000, 20% crash in price, crash if you can call it that, and then after that, the rest is going to be history again, guys. So I want you guys to keep an eye on this, okay? A lot of people have been asking me, well, how's Bitcoin going to perform? What's going to happen? I wanted to make this video to clarify everything for you guys, and I wanted to make this video so I can hopefully give you guys the information you need to position yourself correctly going into the halving, okay? Uh, as always, please leave a like if you like the content. If you don't, give me a dislike. Please subscribe and leave a comment based on what you think, guys. Do you guys think we're gonna go up? You guys think the halving is just fugazi, for lack of a better word? You guys think it's gonna moon after, or it's gonna dump after? Leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think. And thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys on Monday.